Judge Torres has reached the conclusion that XRP does, in fact, fulfill the requirements for a security and that the standards that are relevant do, in fact, apply to it. This particular case is the one in which Judge Torres has arrived at this conclusion. The fact that we have witnessed this is one thing. The fact that there is a rising interest in a number of countries all over the world for the implementation of the XRP in a wide range of different systems, this interest is taking place at the same time that the remaining part of the problem with the SE continues to drag on without a settlement being reached. As far as I am concerned, it is anticipated that Ripple will undertake its initial public offering, IPO, sooner rather than later. In light of my presumptions concerning the future of the Bitcoin trade, this is consistent with those predictions. It is highly possible that other collaborations will be made public and acquisitions will take place on the Bitcoin exchange. The case is coming closer and closer to its completion, and it is quite probable that these things will happen. In this particular instance, this is occurring due to the fact that the procedure is growing closer and closer to its conclusion, which is the reason why this is taking place. Ripple has successfully completed the formalization of the acquisition of Fortress, which is an essential component of the company's strategy for the long-term expansion of its operations. Last week, this significant event took place. Additionally, the value of the company increases as a consequence of this transaction, which takes place prior to the initial public offering of the company. This behavior can be attributed to the fact that Fortress provides Ripple with the capacity to acquire additional assets, which is the driving force behind its existence. In light of the fact that we do not presently possess any information concerning the true nature of Ripple, I believe it is essential to bring up some significant concerns. In my opinion, the information presented here ought to make it abundantly evident whether or not it is advantageous to make long-term investments in Ripple, as well as the reasons why it is not safe to do so. Although Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency ever created, there are already a large number of other cryptocurrencies that are in circulation outside of Bitcoin. It served as a source of inspiration for a substantial number of cryptocurrencies that would later come into existence. Bitcoin is considered to be the very first cryptocurrency ever established. Although it was the first cryptocurrency to be defined by humans, Bitcoin is a complex system that is dependent on a huge number of distinct traits and components. This is despite the fact that Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency known to exist. A good illustration of this would be the decentralized blockchain ledger that Bitcoin employs. This ledger enables Bitcoin's millions of users to organize and save a history of their transactions. Additionally, it incorporates cryptographic hashing, which enables dealers to protect their identities by utilizing a system that requires them to use both public and private digital keys. Miners, who are the individuals responsible for processing Bitcoin transactions, are the ones who carry out transactions using the cryptocurrency. Miners are a group of people who are very helpful and highly driven. They are responsible for ensuring that everything goes according to plan, which allows them to keep everything operating smoothly. Please be aware that there is a restricted quantity of items accessible that possess these qualities. It is important that you are aware of this particular fact. The maintenance of wealth, the execution of transactions in a safe manner, the involvement in speculation, and even the execution of transactions are all substantially less difficult to execute now than they were in the past. Ripple was never intended to be a coin or a typical cryptocurrency, according to conventional standards. This is in contrast to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, which place equal weight on network security, speed, and application in addition to the value of the coin. Ripple was never built with the intention of being utilized as a coin or the typical cryptocurrency. Ripple, on the other hand, was developed with the purpose of becoming a decentralized program that can be utilized for the purpose of conducting transactions. Initially, Ripple was designed with the intention of becoming a cryptocurrency. This was the motive behind its creation. Ripple does not consider the cryptocurrency known as XRP to be an investment asset. Rather, the business is looking to improve the blockchain as its primary emphasis. It is particularly for the benefit of the institutional clients that Ripple engages with, which include Santander Bank and American Express, amongst other companies with which Ripple collaborates, that this is being done in order to accomplish this objective to the greatest extent possible. In addition to being the organization that was responsible for the invention of XRP, the Ripple Foundation was also responsible for the fundamental modification of every conventional coin component that is included in it. Instead, a centralized blockchain enables the transactions that take place on Ripple, improving the network's dependability and speed at the same time. On Ripple, there is not a single instance of mining or any other activity of a significant nature. The majority of other cryptocurrencies use proof of work as their primary method of production, and each cryptocurrency has its own algorithm to determine the amount of power that its miners possess. Proof of work is the primary method of production for the vast majority of cryptocurrencies. Furthermore, proof of work is the fundamental approach that is utilized in the generation of Bitcoin. The display of importance and the demonstration of stake are two more methods of production that can be carried out. Mining, which is the primary method of production, is responsible for the production of the vast majority of other cryptocurrencies. Among the several cryptocurrencies that are used in the cryptocurrency sector, one example of a cryptocurrency that uses proof of work is Bitcoin. Miners draw their pay from the money itself, which serves as a source of compensation. Ripple, on the other hand, believes that this has resulted in a variety of difficulties that cannot be avoided. Ripple is of the opinion that there should not be a separate organization that is responsible for the administration of the network. This is due to the fact that such an organization would have its own distinct objectives and a solution that is tailored to meet the requirements of huge institutions. In spite of the fact that it has assisted other cryptocurrencies in making the move to a decentralized system, Ripple was unable to afford to slow down the development of other cryptocurrencies as a result of this strategy, which is something that has slowed down the development of other cryptocurrencies. Additionally, Ripple deviates from the usual in a number of other ways, in addition to the fact that mining is not taking place at the moment. Additionally, miners are not taking part in the mining process being carried out. There is no doubt that Ripple's decision to forbid miners will have consequences. Ripple is significantly more reliable than other cryptocurrencies in the event that there is a disruption in the process for institutional activities such as money exchange and payment processing. This is due to the fact that Ripple has an endless capacity, and in addition, it can be printed whenever it is required. Due to the fact that Ripple can be printed whenever it is required, this is the case. It is also not difficult to destroy once it has been employed, which is another advantage. Despite the fact that the Ripple Foundation produced it legally, it has a consistent and non-volatile quality that makes it appropriate for the company's most important clients. This was due to the fact that the Ripple Foundation was the provider of the product. A deflationary asset and a centralized blockchain architecture are required for a cryptocurrency to have the ability to accumulate and maintain value, which is one of its most important characteristics. The Ripple Foundation is responsible for the development of the $100 billion XRP that is currently in use. Having said that, the Ripple Foundation is also responsible for destroying one of the most essential characteristics of a genuine cryptocurrency. Access by retail participants is not planned because it introduces factors that are unexpected and potentially hazardous into an environment that is otherwise sterile. In contrast to the blockchains used by other cryptocurrencies, the blockchain that Ripple uses is closed. Despite the fact that Ripple has a wallet, it is difficult to access the blockchain with retail participants. Despite the fact that XRP can be stored in a safe area and that users are protected by encryption, the nodes that are protected by XRP are not private users but rather trustworthy operators who have joined the Ripple network. This is because XRP is encrypted. In spite of the fact that XRP can be stored in a secure manner and that users are afforded protection through encryption, this is the situation that presently exists. In conclusion, in a manner that is analogous to the many issues regarding Bitcoin Cash, even the individuals who come up with the idea for Ripple caution against using their product as a means of exchange for speculation since it is not one of those commodities. This is because Ripple is not a commodity. Ripple is not equivalent to any other platform, rather, it is more of a platform that is comparable to a platform that is utilized for financial technology as compared to other platforms. Specifically, this is due to the fact that it essentially combines the most desirable qualities of decentralized blockchain cryptocurrencies with those of fiat currency. Simply put, this is the reason why it is so widely used. Ripple may be significant despite the fact that, according to the prevalent school of thought, it is not anything that can be classified as a cryptocurrency. However, it is feasible that Ripple represents something that is significant. This is because it represents the lines that differentiate assets from solutions, which is why it is so important. There are two big ramifications that have occurred as a result of the Bitcoin revolution. At the same time that assets can be leveraged as investments by putting faith in the deflationary characteristics of mining and a decentralized community, there are two significant repercussions that have occurred. It is the revolutionary movement that is accountable for both of these significant outcomes that have taken place. The implementation of solutions will reduce the amount of speculation and build platforms that, despite not being formally acknowledged as cryptocurrencies, are nevertheless believed to be cryptocurrencies. However, despite the fact that the price of Ripple is increasing, despite the fact that you have studied and comprehended things, this does not convince everyone that it is a wise investment for the long run. In light of the fact that no one is capable of perfectly predicting the future, I will leave it up to you to determine whether or not to make an investment in them. In order to obtain Bitcoin, It is essential to exercise sound judgment and wait for the perfect moment to get it, rather than purchasing it hastily at a high price. I have the impression that you are the one who is in possession of the solution. The purchase and sale of XRP on exchanges was not something that was expected to happen. On the contrary, its primary function was to operate as a medium of exchange. In the event that Ripple is successful in its lawsuit against the Securities and Exchange Commission, the price of the cryptocurrency will start to surge upwards. This is because Ripple will be the only currency that is not categorized as a security, and it will have legal certainty, which will make it possible for financial institutions in the United States to adopt it in a large manner. This is the reason why this is the case. One of the ultimate objectives of XRP is to achieve the status of a standard coin that can be utilized on a wide range of various platforms. The XRP ledger is a bridge currency between all digital assets, including all digital fiats. This is the reason why this is the case after it has been generally accepted as the bridge currency of the globe since it was first introduced. According to the calculations, the price of an XRP coin is anticipated to fall somewhere in the range of around $35,000 to $50,000. During the period of time that we are prohibited from accessing the market, there is no possibility that we will be able to purchase or sell XRP.